Hey there, my name is Pravus, welcome back to more Hearts of Iron 4 Darkest Hour. We're playing as the Empire of Japan, and in the last video, we did have the February 26th event, which means that the army is starting to make its move in taking over the government. We will be starting to push toward fascism, which is interesting in the timing of this, because, you know, by the time you get into vanilla HoI4, I believe Japan is mostly already fascist. In this, it's still mostly democratic and authoritarian, and we gotta be building this up over time, but it's gonna happen, starting now. Now, I wish I could say that with the February 26th event, now we finally can just move through a whole load of national focuses and have fun with it, but that's not necessarily going to be true. We can get these three. Then we have to wait around, again, for Konoe Fumimaro to take over. So this guy, I do actually recognize from history. I think he was he a prince? I don't know anyway. But anyway, Fumimaro oversaw Japan during the invasion of China in 1937. And also a lot of the stuff that ended up happening with the United States. So, this character is going to be making a rise, historically speaking, and I imagine we can get them in power, but it's probably going to be about another year before I can go do anything fun with them. I'll say that's where I'm getting a little frustrated. I'm starting to see why Vanilla HoI4 had a 1936 start date. That said, I don't know, for those of you who are history buffs and are liking seeing all this cool stuff going on with Japan, in particular, let's say, the rise of a lot of these regimes, Darkest Hour's got that down. And one thing I'll say, I'm really impressed with the writing so far. Like, all these events, I can't read through all of them, it's just gonna take too long. But when they come up, they're generally very well written. I'm quite impressed by that. Anyway, bow to the Daihanai, or however you say that. I don't speak Japanese very well. I mean, Nihongo ga skoshi hanashimasu, but it's like very, very little. Like, come on. Anytime I start seeing the translation from English into, or sorry, Japanese into like the English letters, my brain just freezes up and I don't know how to properly pronounce it all. Anyway, the general demands Arita. This is ridiculous, outrageous. How could they demand such a thing? Koki Hirota have been fuming over the military's latest demand for now. Apparently the military is making demands. And this guy knows, Hirota knows, that if he is going to continue giving stuff to the military, it's going to undermine his regime, but he doesn't have a lot of choice. And there goes some popularity of fascism. Also, an assault stalled out, God, why is my brain struggling with that, against the Soviets, because we are still having some border conflicts. What would make sense to do? I guess we could take a 60% chance of a successful bombardment? I don't know, how do we get the balance of power on our side? We apparently lost a lot of ground. I just have to hope and get lucky that they roll poorly and I roll well, I guess. Whatever. Bureaucracy is an important part of any functioning government, and Mori knows this well. 25 years in the job, he's a desk jockey. Something to do with the effect of him running the bureaucracy means he can sink entire administrations if he chooses to. He is secretly the most powerful man in Japan. Alright, does that mean this person is going to help bring down the existing regime in favor of a new one? I don't know, we'll see. Whatever, I do want to train up some more troops, very badly. We're going to end up needing all of this. I am going to pull these guys away. I am going to make these guys have some supply companies. Because if you're going to have 33 combat width, actually we can reset this. If you're going to have 35 combat width, I feel like you really need to have some supply companies, or else you're going to drain so much gosh dang supply you're just going to die. So this seems really important to me. Let's at least start adding this into some of my divisions. These guys have light artillery, by the way, instead of the heavy artillery. What's the real difference? 500 manpower and 12 artillery instead of 480 and 12. I think that the light artillery are faster, but I don't know if I care as much about that. What's their soft attack? 16 as opposed to 28. You know, if we don't already have all of our infantry being this version, maybe we should swap that out. Yeah, I'm gonna change these guys into something that's easy for me to find. I'm gonna take some of these divisions and I'm gonna swap them out for the bigger, better versions. Might as well. It seems like you don't need as much artillery in this mod as you do with the base game. Right, a single battalion or division taking only 12 artillery, like, we really don't need as many factories on this. It's probably better for me to start focusing very heavily on things like small arms. Yeah. I feel like small arms are going to be what gets me here. I'm going to need a lot of guns. I'd also love to get some additional planes. And we aren't even producing any trains yet, but we are going to end up needing that at some point as well. I don't know, I'm very concerned about my supply usage. These are huge combat widths. It's probably fine, but it's obviously going to be very different from what we're used to in the base game. And this is freaking China, man. Supply is not exactly going to be very, very abundant. Getting some more upgrades for some fighters is going to be nice. Would make sense to get some upgrades for my close air support as well. Yeah, I don't think we care about the fighter bombers. Yeah, these are fighters in literally air superior interception. How did they even bomb? Naval targeting? I don't care about that. No, we want the ground attack, so let's go ahead and get some more CAS. That's going to be one thing that could really make my life a lot easier. Is if you're going to be fighting against China, and they're going to have a numbers advantage, that's going to happen, then we can have superior units, and we can have air support. And with lots of air supports, that makes my life a lot easier. I'm tempted to go for tanks, but I really don't know if that's going to work out well for me or not. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. Whatever. Manchurians turn to banditry. That was like a 10% chance of happening. Gosh dang it. All right, well now the balance of power is on the Soviet side. Nothing I can do about it. National defense states. Baba Aichi. Aichi is a man who was simple understanding of the world. He was no communist, but Mao understood that political power grows out of the barrel of a gun. Final stamp on a new budget for the Japanese government. A 40% increase in expenditures over the previous year. Good lord, the Army and the Navy are going to be getting so much money. Right, this seems like a corrupt budget and a half. We were defeated over here. The Mongolian border village has been defeated. Great. So this over here, is this it? Somewhere around here? I guess. Yay. At some point, we're going to have the Marco Polo Bridge incident as an option to us. It has to be the case. There's no way around it. We could spend some political power, by the way, favoring the army and getting some extra military factories. That seems pretty good. Provisional government of the Republic of China control Beijing, Hebei, Shandong, Yantai, and Qingdao. Get all of those, create our own autonomous puppet. That would be a good thing to do, for sure. I'm spending my political power just looking for any upgrades I can do. Extra stability, extra factories, anything. I'll take whatever I can get my hands on. That's the special court-martial done, and now there's nothing to do up over here anymore. Right, we can continue with the Maru Kaikaku and see if we can prevent the army from getting too favored and keep the balance of power going over there, I guess. I don't really know. We probably should get the entire Navy together at some point and reorganize, because these guys are spread out all over the place, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Looks like there's a Spanish Civil War. Okay, so that's all now happening. Yeah, it makes sense. June 1936, that seems about right. It is the Spanish state versus the Republic over here. You are so incredible that you have cloned yourself and are now ruling from two different positions in the Republic. Yeah, very democratic indeed. Okay. I'm trying to get a few upgrades here and there for my spy branch. It would be nice to have a second spy. That way we can get extra intel against Republic of China and eventually start setting up collaboration governments. That said, we should already have a little bit of occupied territory, I think. Yeah, we do, and it's currently at 100% compliance. That's gonna help a little bit when we eventually do add on more territory from China, I think. And the Germans enter the Rhineland, no longer a demilitarized zone. We all know how that's gonna turn out. I'm trying to think a little bit ahead of time as far as what our goal is gonna be when we fight against China. Looking at this establishing of the provisional government of China thing, we have to have Beijing, Hebei, Shandong, Yantai, and Qingdao. I'm pretty sure that's all of this, right? Because Beijing's right here. We need to have this state, this state, this state, and there's Qingdao right there. So yeah, if we are able to take all of this, that's enough to at least create our provisional government, which I imagine is going to make it a little bit easier to push through the rest of the Republic of China. Maybe. To that extent, I'm trying to think through what kind of naval invasions would make sense. What kind of supply are we looking at in a place like this? I can't see it all as well as I would like. So there's a couple of supply points here. I don't see any supply points over here. That's going to be awkward. And then Beijing, Tianjin, and there's one over here. Yeah, we're going to have to rush for these supply points very, very aggressively, I think. What's something else we can do with some army experience while we're sitting back? It would probably make sense to get a suppression group together. We're going to need to have something that's got military police on it. Don't think we're going to need artillery. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. We won't need engineers, won't need field hospitals, won't need signals, won't need recon. We'll just swap these out for military police. Cost me 45 experience, which sucks. But they should function really well as just a very, very basic military police group for occupation. Germany is inviting me into an anti-Comintern pact. Yes. That seems like the sort of thing that I would like to do. I'm not exactly a fan of them Soviets. Get myself a second spy. That's going to be great. Sabotage, more seducer, counterintelligence. I guess we'll take you as well. So that should give me enough over here around Nanjing. So we got a good idea what's going on over there. Full intel on these guys. What do you have as far as an army? You got a lot of divisions. You got way more than I do. Not by a ridiculous amount, and I'm willing to bet that my troops are just generally better than yours. Deployed manpower is probably around 350,000 for them, whereas I've got 650,000. So even if they have more divisions, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're stronger than I am. They also have probably a decent number of planes, but I've got way more than them on that as well. Yeah, militarily, I'm stronger than the Republic by itself, for sure. The biggest issue with the Republic is that it's going to have a lot of little buddies ready to help them out. As far as some of my focuses right now, I'm just trying to work down toward things like the True Guardians of Nippon. On the off chance we can do something with that in the future, there's really not much I can do until I get some more of these events. Man, I don't know. I like this mod. I think it's really cool. I definitely think that starting in 1933 is a slower game. But we're seeing some more aspects of the history that maybe I wouldn't have seen otherwise. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty awesome so far. It's just definitely a slower burn on my end as far as making something interesting for you guys. And that's getting harder and harder for me, honestly, because I was talking to my wife not long ago. Oh, there goes Edward the 8th. I was talking to my wife not long ago. Something's happened with me recently in YouTube where I am basically spending a lot more time to produce not a lot more content. Less content, in fact. And part of that's because, like, we've seen this same game so many times. What else is there exactly for me to talk about, right? What more do you guys need to know as far as, like, me just shooting the breeze and making random commentary and just passing the time? I used to be pretty good at that. I could just waffle on for like 30 minutes. Never had to do a jump cut. It was great. But the moment that I had to start adding in jump cuts as a regular thing in this game, oh lordy, did it suddenly get a lot harder. I feel like we're really not constructing much very quickly, despite the fact that I should have less, it takes only 10 factories instead of 15. You know what? It's because I haven't seen, just double checking that I'm not crazy on this. Yeah, there's no construction tech. This is the construction tech, and we've already got it. So I can't go for another bonus up here. That's part of the issue. I'm not seeing an extra several percentage points. That said, even then, hold on. Let me take a look at this. Is that a 2% bonus? Yeah, it's only 2% for military and civilian factory construction speed. Wowzers. It's almost as if I really want to favor the army so I can build military factories faster. Oh, wait a minute. Here's something I can do. Create an incident with the Chinese. Marco Polo Bridge incident. Boom. Let's go ahead and do that. That is going to create some very unfortunate misunderstandings which lead to war. And by the way, what happened up here? Something's changed. The Mongol military government exists, and the demilitarized zone just got eaten up into the Republic of China. So did one of the cliques. There's the Marco Polo Bridge incident. Disaster. Oh no, what started as a simple training exercise escalated into a skirmish. The Chinese garrison mistook our exercises as an attack and opened fire, and we returned fire, and some of our people were killed, and oh no, now China must pay for this. Let's send them a little ultimatum action. What else should I do over here? Let's, I really wish there were some focuses that would actually let me build up some, like, free factories. That's another thing that's different in this mod compared to what I'm used to. It feels like a much slower start and burn, because I'm not getting, like, the industrial focuses that give me a bunch of free factories and stuff, you know? We're just not getting that stuff, and it kind of hurts. Oh, okay, hang on. We just declared war. Looks like the ultimatum was not received very well. Got it. So, with that being known, charge? Charge into Beijing? Take these things, like, now? This is your chance. This is your chance for glory. We want to follow the railroad and get down to a place like Jinan as fast as possible. I also want to take my navy, which is over here. We're going to split you in half, I think, with, of course, Yamamoto as the admiral. Now, that's somebody I know, even if I don't know a lot about Japan, but I do know about Yamamoto. Anyway, let's go ahead and do some naval invasion support in these areas. And we're going to be launching a naval invasion over here basically as soon as we can. We win the Marco Polo Bridge. The Chinese have been routed. The army did what? Oh, no! It's almost like this was some sort of an army conspiracy. to completely disregard the civilian government. Oh, how can you and in truth most members of this diet continue to bring such disloyalty and dishonor upon our military? How can you insult us so? Popularity of fascism goes up and the party politicians gain more influence. Civilian governance stands firm against military dominance. Yeah, we'll see how well that lasts for you. So the question now is, do I start calling in some of my peoples? For example, the state of Manchuria and the Mongol military government. Now, I like the Mongols being here where they are, because that's going to leave a bunch of units distracted on these borders when they join the war, hopefully taking attrition and doing absolutely nothing. I want to call in Manchuria because they have a lot of units. However, if I call them in, there's a kind of nasty tendency to call in all my other allies, whether I like it or not. So, we'll see. I'm not sure how I feel about that. For now, let's just go ahead and land everything we've got. Let's go ahead and start pushing fairly aggressively into as many local supply areas as possible. I want to get down to something like Baoding. I need you to push straight in here. We're going to encircle and crush this unit. He's dying instantly. All right, we're calling in some clicks, and we're finally starting to run into a bit of resistance. Very good. Let's go ahead and land over here. Make sure we grab... Oh, there goes Spain. Grab the ports. At least get down here and hold this. This is the most defensible location. Though I want to push up to Jinan as fast as possible, because that is where the railroads are going to be. Yeah, if we can get up here to Jinan, will be great. If we can't, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. I guess we can push down a little bit this way. If I can get over here, this is another important supply zone. I'm only worried about supply because in my experience, playing as China in some stuff in HoI4, never played Japan, but I played China, supply is a very major concern. So I really don't want to mess this up. Butimus. All right, so far, so good. But things can turn around really fast if you're doing a land war in China. Really fast. I am running out of fuel dangerously quickly. It's the Navy. The Navy is simply too strong. We're going to have to tell these guys to stop doing all of this and go dock up in Korea for a little bit. Okay, so these guys have taken over all the local supply points, so that's good. In terms of supply, this is the best we've got. This level 5 naval base. All right, fair enough. You move in over here, please. If we can find a way to join these guys up, at least it gives me some options. So, all right, this is all going fine. I'm going to do a naval invasion down around Shanghai. I think that's going to scare the AI substantially and maybe make my life a little bit easier. The air support should be pretty good for us right now. We should be doing a lot of damage. I don't have 1 million bombers. All I've got is close air supports, but to be honest, I think that's going to be fine as is. If we can just get down to Jinan, like, really fast, that would be huge. Hold on, you guys need to get down over here. You need to take this point. Not optional. Before all the other clicks arrive, we've got to take these supply hubs. Got to take them fast. Okay, we've got this one, so now we just need to get this under control. It's going to flip to our side eventually. I don't even see it anymore. Wait, there was a supply hub there, wasn't there? Okay, something weird's going on, but that's fine. Alright, so let's see. Jinan, it's got a little bit of defense, but overall it's not that bad. If you guys can make an immediate push down over here, that'd be huge. If you guys can do something, that'd be great, and we can go for a bit of flanking action and just make sure that we have the option of moving around. The only option! It was over. Koki Hirota's prime ministership had reached the end of the line. He looked mournfully around the office as he struggled over his resignation letter. He had tried, he truly did. He had mediated, compromised, gave concessions and everything, but one damned incident in the House of Representatives, and all the previous military support completely goes away. He's done. He's out of here. All right, so once again, our prime minister has retired. Is this where we're gonna get a certain other guy in charge yet? Are we going to pick up a certain Fumimaro? Maybe. They're starting to stack up some troops around Jinan. It may be a little bit difficult to take this over. Maybe. We're also spread a little thin at the moment. I'm debating whether I want to actually continue with this invasion of Shanghai. I think the answer is yes. I still think that this could be a good thing for me to do. At the very least, what it does is it scares the ever-living crud out of the AI and might provoke them to pull a bunch of troops off of this line and make my life easier. I think we had a very brief window of opportunity to run in here and grab this, and we may have lost it. Maybe. That said, we've still got some supply going over here, so it's not the end of the world. One thing I could do is preemptively start building out more of this railroad, knowing that if I can take this, I'm going to need a lot of supply on this front. We've got to start working our way to get kind of a surround on Jinan. At the very least, block off the railroad, and then hopefully they lose out on their supply, which will make my life easier. Honestly, at this point, I think I need the help. I'm going to go ahead and call in Manchuria. Let's just bring in the extra reinforcements, and hopefully this makes a huge difference. Okay, don't push into desperate territory there. Can you guys get these guys out of here? Just make my life a little bit easier, as more flanking bonuses should make my life a bit easier as well. We're doing okay-ish on supply in some spots. This area is struggling, and it's all going to come down to taking over Jinan. Or if not that, Jijing over here would do fine. Jining, sorry. However you call it, I have no idea. If we can just take this railroad, though. If I can encircle all this, though. Man, it'd be so good. It'd be so good if I can encircle all of this. Instead, it appears they've managed to encircle me, which is a problem. Can you guys counterattack? No, don't retreat. Counterattack these guys before they can get my people killed? Oh, crud. Okay, just trying not to lose organization right here long enough that these... there goes one of them. Dang it! All right, cleaning the mess. What an impossible situation reflected Kinmochi on the state of Japanese politics. He had nominated 10 prime ministers of the last surviving Genro, all of them relatively simple choices. Okay, so let's see. May I suggest a candidate? His protege, speak up, my son. Okay, so this is Fumimaro right here. He's recommending somebody. It looks like he's recommending somebody for prime minister, putting forward a candidate with whom he would never agree. This is interesting because it looks like Inoue is attracted to fascism, but is very much proposing a moderate candidate. Seems to me like he's setting up someone to fail so that fascism wins. We're gonna follow his suggestion because that's gonna be the historical path. But yeah, that'll be interesting. Okay. So close to being able to encircle Jinan, and once we do that, this is all gonna be a way easier. So, Konoe's Gambit, seeing Kinmochi contemplate a suggestion, he doubles down. He doesn't have the support of the military. He's the most moderate minister we have, the only one completely opposed to rising fascism in the military. I mean, no disrespect, but it isn't exactly what it takes to get an army will kill his cabinet before you even get started. You may be right. Hayashi wasn't such a bad candidate. While Ugaki may have been a better choice, Kimochi was well aware of the military's opposition to his appointment. All right, we are getting our preferred candidate in charge, and we are going to see if it does any good. The Devil's Patron. As he sips his tea, Kinmochi feels a light breeze on his face, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. General Hayashi, I assume you know why I've called you here. Certainly, I accept the nomination and perform my duties to the best of my ability. Good luck. Ambitious plans for Japan. All right, the Marshal of Korea, huh? Yep, okay, so this is our new prime minister. It's not the guy that we're looking for, but it's the guy that we've got. And I suspect it's going to go in the direction we want to, because so far we're following a very historical path, I think. If I can't take Jinan very soon, we're gonna start taking some really massive losses here. We're losing a fair number of guns. The good news is I stockpiled a lot up. We're running out of tanks so fast. What the crud? I didn't think they were gonna lose them that quickly. Yeah, maybe we don't like this whole armored recon thing. Maybe we should just go ahead and pick up the cavalry instead. All right, we're gonna go back to that. Don't use up our fuel. Don't use up light tanks we don't have. Get these guys back up to having full recon. Oh gosh, but the supply is so terrible. He's got enough troops stacked up over here, it's not easy for me to take. How am I gonna get this? Everything is linchpinned on this. Oh, I completely forgot. I completely forgot about Shanghai! Right! Oh no, wait a minute. No, I completely let these guys get me. Oh, crud, I've gotten all my troops killed, haven't I? Tie-up finance. The Hayashi administration finally announced approval of a new budget. This is the one with the extremely high military spending, I believe. Let's hope this doesn't backfire and put the army in charge. Oh no, whatever shall happen. I'm trying to retreat over here and get some more troops in position to try and take this over. Businesses, I didn't even read that, I'm sorry. The businesses reacted because they are going to be put to work with the government. I need to launch these troops. 5 more days and a few extra reinforcements. If I can just take the port, we'll be fine. I'm trying not to lose these infantry over here, but they're throwing a lot at me. Understandably, I'd like to get the flanking bonuses too. Come on, just hold out long enough to get some reinforcements, dang it. Oh, crud, and I don't have my, hang on. Can we just get, can I temporarily get some naval invasion support to launch? Thank you. That's all I needed. Thank you. Goodbye. All right, the Diet's quiet fury. Well, what about our economic plans? We will not support that. You have your infrastructure plans as well. Some people are getting really upset. Our new, I think this is the new, yeah, our new prime minister is finding himself getting frustrated by the conservatives and the right wing very aggressively. Something needs to be done about them, but what indeed? Oh, please don't lose these units. We're so close. Just land the reinforcements. You're right here. He's got no one here to defend it. Oh, for God's sake. Take it. Hayashi is calling for new elections. That's how he's going to try to get rid of the conservatives. Yeah, that's not going to work historically speaking, but you are welcome to try. Oh, for God's sake, they got more troops in over here. Ah, come on, just push them out. Push them out for a brief moment, for God's sake, land, thank you! Woo! All right, we have saved our troops. No one's going to die. We've got supply. They're able to retreat now. I have got to start importing some more oil, or we are going to have problems. I can't keep my Air Force up and running. We're not going to try trading with the US. I can't imagine they're going to like me, but I will buy some fuel from, let's say, Mexico. That's going to keep things going at least a little bit. Oh, we did lose a single unit. Man, we were so close to keeping all of them, too. Oh, well. Logistically, how are we looking? Okay-ish. Back where we need to be as far as things like tanks. Artillery's fine. Motorized is starting to run out. That's going to be a problem. Speaking of motorized, are you guys set to... Okay, can we use motorized to actually get some supply? Is that going to make us any difference at all? Because if it does, like, this is the issue. We're so close. I just can't launch attacks here because everyone's at such low organization. That's the problem. Looks like we can form the way for a municipal government of Shanghai. That's interesting. Create for ourselves a puppet in Shanghai. Yeah, I don't know if that's something I necessarily need to do, but it is something we could do if we wanted to. Alright, so everything's gonna come down to this right here. I really need to take over Jinan. If I can find a way to cut this off, that'd be great, but he's got enough people here that I can't find a way to punch through. I either need to focus a bunch more of my troops in an area where they have no supply in order to try to punch through very briefly, or we gotta figure something else out. I could build a supply hub. It feels like kind of a waste, but we could build a supply hub out over here and try to supply troops enough to steal their supply hub. Or we say, screw it, we go ahead and take Jining over here and then just build a railway, and then once we do that, boom, also problem solved. That might even be easier, actually, now that I think about it. We'll think about that later, though. Thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.